ahead and apologize in advance. I know I sound like a broken record, and probably some of you will hear this spiel over the next week and a half over and over again. But as Calvin touched on briefly, the platform of our campaign is the G3 logo. The G3 logo, like I said, is get involved, or get informed, get involved, and get inspired. And like I have said in the previous two questions, the first step is to get students and organizations informed about the process that SGA goes through, whether it's funding, whether it's fee increases, what have you. Whether that's through orientation information for the freshmen or just general information that we try and spread across the campus in the early months of the year, that is how we will plan to inform students. Once they're informed, we will be able to get them involved in the process, get them involved into a senator position, or get them to come to open forum and speak their concerns on a variance of different issues. And the last one is to get inspired. And if people get inspired and take ownership for this university and what it stands for and what it means to be a Fort Hays State Tiger, you will see a greater involvement across the board from all Fort Hays students, no matter what their background is.
We've been asking you two gentlemen the same questions that we ask your running mates, but here is a different one for you to try out. And it goes to you first, Alex. Does the Senate need to be reformed, and if yes, how?
I don't think the Senate needs to be reformed at all. Even at the United States level, there will never necessarily be the quote-unquote equal voice. California is always going to have more of a say than Kansas because of the sheer numbers of representatives. And I feel that it's important that Fort Hays State reflect that in the way that the student organization and representation is set up. Right now, the way that the formula is for every 100 students in your college, that equals to 1 representative. So the College of Arts and Sciences has 15 senators. The College of Life Sciences has 13 senators, business has 7, and so on and so forth. And I feel that in order to best prepare Fort Hays students for what's coming in the real world and what happens in real world politics that goes far beyond this university, we need to try and reflect their model as best we can. So in short, I think the method and the process of representation that we have at Fort Hays State University works quite effectively.
And Braden, same question. Does the Senate need to be reformed, and if yes, how?
I would agree that the Senate doesn't need to be completely reformed, but I believe there are changes that need to be made. Yes, we do all represent the same amount of people, but are the senators really going out and asking their constituents what they want? I think as vice president, I could encourage the senators to represent their constituents better. Like I said, by actually representing a student organization, you're actually going out and talking to people. Talk to your constituents. Go speak to a class. Ask what they want when an important issue comes up. So the student government doesn't need to be reformed, but there are some changes that need to be made. And when I say changes, I mean improvements. There's no use to come and say we need changes. We need improvements because everything evolves. There is nothing in this world that does not evolve. If we sit here and keep the same types of things, the world changes and we need to evolve with it. It doesn't work out just to keep the setup. Student government is here to represent the student body, and as the student body is rapidly growing, we need to continue and push on to do all we can to represent the student voice.
Now the last question before your closing statements, and we begin with you, Braden. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
In 10 years, that's a really good question. I plan on graduating Fort Hays in a year, 2 years, and I will be going to law school for sure. I'm, I guess, the 3rd lawyer up here. So, and I know how the world works. You guys don't all like the lawyers. But I don't actually know if I want to be a lawyer. I want to be maybe a lobbyist. I want to get into politics. When I started here, I was for sure just going to go become an attorney. But especially after working with Dr. Rackaway and his classes and being involved in the student government, I love politics. I love the way it works. I love how it's all human interaction. It's one thing about it. You can read in a book how a bill is passed, how everything works, but you have to go out and you have to talk to people. You have to have a personality that people enjoy. That's what I love about politics. Not only do you go and get what you want, but you have to be personable. And so therefore, I've been pushing more towards politics now, and hopefully in the end I can end up in DC in 10 years, which would be perfect because it's pretty quick. So I would really enjoy to be in DC in 10 years.
All right. And Alex, where do you see yourself in 10 years?
You know, my junior year of high school, if you would have asked me where I wanted to go to college, I would have said anywhere but Kansas. And now, as a junior in college, looking back at my freshman year, where do you want to have your career? I would have said anywhere but Kansas. As you can probably see, there's a pattern. I don't seem to be able to get out of this state, and I think I've come to a point to where I'm just going to accept that. I'm unclear as to what my graduate plans are going to be. I considered the MPA program at Wichita State. I've considered going to law school myself. It seems like we have a pattern up here with candidates as well. But what I really want to do is, after I leave Fort Hays State University, I'm fairly certain that I will leave the politics side behind. My aspiration in my lifetime is to find a job to where I can work for people and I can work to serve. I don't want to get entangled with the power game. I don't want to get entangled with the money or the corruption. I just want to find a job where I feel that I am making a successful change in the world, even if it's on a small scale.
Very good. And now we will have our closing statements, and Alex, you go first.
You know, this is just like any campaign. You're going to hear a lot of promises, you're going to hear a lot of plans, and you're going to hear a lot of stuff that you're probably not going to remember is going to go in one ear and out the other. So if you take away nothing from this meeting aside from this is what I want you to remember. The Get Informed, Get Involved, and Get Inspired platform is the plan that President Calvin and I have laid out before us, and it is one that students will be able to hold us accountable for. We plan to institute 3 surveys between the fall, the winter, and then in the spring to see if we can gauge how well and how much improvement we see in the informed level of the Fort Hays State student body. We also plan to do the same similar exercise with the involvement levels. We can just look at the number of increases that we will see from our informed plan to get students involved in a variance of student organizations, whether it be through SGA or other student groups. And lastly, we want to make sure that students get inspired. And through these plans of getting people informed, getting them involved, and making them take ownership in their university and what exactly it means to be a Tiger at Fort Hays and what it means after college, we believe that if we can convey that message effectively to one person, it will ripple through the rest of the campus.
All right, thank you. And Ray, your closing statement.
I would just like to say one thing. My entire life I've been a leader, like I have said, and I'm not one of those people who goes around saying that I'm a conservative or a liberal or this is my political ideology. How I view myself isn't effective. I'm not here to do things, to just talk. I'm here to do things that work. And with that, like I said, I laid out how I'll assign senators positions with organizations and do things that actually work. The Senate's a great place. SGA is a great organization. Let's just improve it and make it a better place. It's here to serve the student body, and I love the students on campus here. I love the people that are here attending. You guys are the people who care, and that's what's awesome about this campus, that we have people that care. We have people who want to get an education and people who want to learn. So I just encourage everyone to be involved as possible, and if you elect Carolyn and myself, you will get your voices back, and that's our goal with this campaign.